Hey, what's up guys, it's me your boy Orabankast Kevinish back here with another brand new video and I hope you guys are having a great day. So we are here for the Qatar Grand Prix FP1 and main race qualifying session review. So without any further ado, let's get right into the video guys. So let's start off with FP1. A lot of dust on track is one thing that I noticed pretty quickly, and the drivers were struggling through it. The track was actually resurfaced, so the brand new asphalt being nice, soft and slippery didn't help the case with all the drivers just slipping and sliding around. And another thing that I noticed was a lot of off-track excursions from the drivers, especially at turn 4, and some brake markers getting destroyed by F1 cars. Max as usual leading the timing boats at the end of FP1, followed by Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. It genuinely looked like Ferrari had the downright pace of being the second quickest car this weekend heading into qualifying. If you watch the qualifying, you know that it didn't pan out that way, and Fernando Alonso managed to pop in a lap that was good enough for P4, and he actually set the time on the medium compound, so it was quite a tidy lap from Fernando. And finally, Max's teammate Sergio Perez rounding off the top 5. So now heading into qualifying, starting off with Q1. Well, track again with a lot of dust on track. The lap times kept improving as the track was getting swept by all the F1 cars' aerodynamics. It was actually pretty interesting to watch Q1 because you genuinely did not know who's going to make it through and who's going to get knocked out in Q1 because the track just kept on ramping up. And another thing that I noticed was a lot of track limits, lap time dilation, pretty reminiscent of Austria. So the Q1 knockouts were Logan Sargent, who qualified P16, a slight improvement from Sargent, better pace under one lap compared to his teammate, when comparing with his teammate, not compared to his teammate, qualifying P16, which is pretty good, just within a tenth of his teammate. So a solid improvement from Logan Sargent. Then moving on to the next knockout, which is Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll again getting knocked out in Q1 for the 4th race in a row, qualifying P17 for the race. I don't know for how long the team is gonna continue to fail on maximizing on their results because of Stroll. And honestly, if Aston finishes 4th in the constructors at the end of 2023 season after having such an electric start to the season, it mostly has to be blamed upon Stroll. So now moving on to the next knockout in Q1, which is Liam Lawson. Unfortunately, he didn't make it through into Q2 on his final race of the season. So the next knockout would be Kevin Magnussen. After 2 good qualifying sessions, he got knocked out in Q1 again after qualifying P19, and he got out qualified by his teammate. So the last and final knockout of Q1 would be Zhou Guanyu. He got knocked out in Q1 and qualifies P20. Moving on to Q2 now. The Q2 knockouts were Yuki, Carlos, Checo, Alex and Nico Hülkenberg. Starting off with Yuki had a brilliant qualifying session to qualify P11 for the race, and honestly, whether he'd be able to score points from here or not is something that we have to wait and watch, but nonetheless a good qualifying effort from him. So now moving on to Carlos Sainz, who qualified P12. Honestly, the lap from Carlos did not seem great from the onboard at the high speed corners. The car just seemed to oversteer and snapping the rear end midway through the corner. Moving on to Checo. What do I even say? He did seem to have made it through into Q3 by the skin of his teeth in P10, but his lap time got deleted, which pushed him down to P13, promoting Bottas into Q3. Seriously man, what has happened to him? This season seems to be his worst. So many failed attempts to get into Q3. If this run of form continues, he may even lose his P2 position in the driver standings. But let's see what he can do in the sprint shootout and the sprint race tomorrow, and in the main feature race on Sunday to recover from P13. Hopefully he can finish ahead of Hamilton and Alonso. So the next knockout would be Alex Albon. Alex Albon qualified P14, was improving on his final lap but ran wide and went off track that he had to abort the lap. So P14, a good position nonetheless. So let's see what he can do from starting P14 on the race day. So the last and final knockout of Q2 would be Nico Hülkenberg, who qualified P15. Honestly, couldn't expect anything more from Haas. Nico as usual working his magic under one lap pace to bring the car into Q2. But honestly, with the tire degradation issue that the Haas car suffers this season, I highly doubt as to whether he'll be able to improve or hold his position come to the end of the race. So now moving on to Q3. Well, no surprise, Max Verstappen on pole. Pretty typical stuff. Honestly, being this consistent has to be a crime, but genuinely a brilliant first lap from Max secured him a pole, as he also ran wide on his final run, having to abort his lap. Qualifying P2 would be George Russell. Mercedes seems to be having the pace around this track. It seems pretty nip and tuck between McLaren and Mercedes here in Qatar. Lewis Hamilton takes P3 after both the McLaren drivers' lap time got deleted for exceeding track limits. Fernando Alonso pulls out a magical lap to start P4 for the feature race. Honestly, I'm not sure whether if the Aston Martin is fast enough and Stroll is just not being able to drive the car, or is the Aston Martin slow and Fernando is just doing Fernando things to pull his car into places it probably doesn't deserve to be at. Probably the latter. Charles Leclerc qualifies P5. He did the best that he could. The Ferrari seems to have the outright pace, but the air sensitivity of the Ferrari is just so hyper that any slight bit of crosswind going through the high-speed corners just upsets the car's rhythm. Oscar Piastri qualifies P6 after his faster lap of P3 got deleted due to track limits. So a good banker lap helps him start ahead of his teammate. A tidy lap staying within the confined white lines help him start P6 ahead of his teammate. Pierre Gasly qualifies P7. Honestly, as I said a couple of times before in the past, the Alpines are just very hard to predict, as they are just so inconsistent with their pace from one track to another. It just keeps on changing. But here at Qatar, the car seems to be very happy. Both the cars comfortably got into Q3. Gasly outqualifies his teammate Esteban Ocon, who qualified right behind him in P8. So overall, a good or a decent day in the Alpine office. Valtteri Bottas qualifies P9 after Lando Norris's lap time got deleted. The likelihood of him finishing the race in the points is near to impossible, as there's nearly 3 fast cars behind him. But still a moment of glory for Alfa Romeo. Lando Norris finally finishes qualifying in P10. Honestly, if he had put down a decent banker lap staying within the white lines, he would have probably qualified somewhere in the top 6 considering the car's pace and his pace compared to his teammate. But not setting a safety banker was his own fault, so there is no one else that he could blame for it other than himself. Honestly, all 3 drivers stuck amidst the midfield are probably going to make the race on Sunday, so let's wait and watch. Lando should be able to recover to a top 5 finish even in a worst case scenario. So that would be my quick review on the FP1 and the main race qualifying session, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and let me know in the comments on what you thought of the qualifying session. I'm excited to know. If you haven't already subscribed to the Autobahncaster YouTube channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell icon and turn on all notifications so you get notified whenever I upload a brand new video. It's me, your boy Autobahncaster, and I'm out. Love you guys. Stay safe. Peace.